As we all know, the NFL is a pass-happy league, and because of this, the nickel package has basically become a base defense. Having cornerback depth is absolutely imperative. And check out the numbers. In 2015, nickel defenses were used an average of 63% of the time. That number was up from 60% in 2014, 49% in 2013, 44% in 2012, and 40% in 2011. The old school slot cornerback wasn't asked to do more than hand off his man in zone coverage, but today, that nickel corner must play the seam, adapt to option routes, and guess on the fly. The NFL always seems to evolve now, doesn't it? Richard Sherman is my top-ranked corner, and for the fourth time in his many seasons, he's going to have a different cornerback starting opposite of him. Jeremy Lane will be getting targeted often. The lanky 6'3", 195-pound Sherman rarely gets targeted, and when the ball does come his way, he uses his length and soft hands to make plays on the ball. Due to his height, he can match up against taller and bigger receivers, but his technique is also so exceptional that he can shut down the smaller and more elusive wideouts as well. He's aggressive, finds the ball, and normally rides the hip of the receiver on deep shots down the field. There's a reason why Seattle's secondary is nicknamed the Legion of Boom. Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor aren't the only ones who can lay the lumber. Sherman can hit a little bit too. Maybe not as great as those two, but for a cornerback, he's not bad. He puts that length to good use when wrapping up ball carriers. Always a lot better in tight areas than in space. Darrelle Revis is number 2, and no other corner plays with better technique, and Revis took advantage of the free agency system again last year, signing a 5-year, $70 million contract, $39 million guaranteed. He can defend any style of wideout. His range and instincts are spectacular. He can jam and reroute, and his ball skills are outstanding. At 30 years old, he has lost a tad of a step and received more help over the top last year than in previous seasons. He isn't as good against the run as Sherman is, but he still sticks his nose in there. Definitely a willing tackler. Patrick Peterson is number 3, and following a bit of a disappointing year in 2014, Peterson rebounded in 2015. His 4.4 yards per pass allowed led all cornerbacks, according to Football Outsiders. Peterson has all the physical tools you'd love to mold a cornerback into. 6'1", 219, he's super athletic. He runs like a deer and is a threat to take any pick to the house. He's an outstanding pure man cover corner when motivated. He showed a lot more aggressiveness last season and did a much better job of disrupting the timing of the quarterback and wide receiver. As a run defender, he's up and down. He loses track of the ball a lot, loses contain a lot, but when he does get in position, he does take ball carriers down to the ground. Chris Harris is my 4th ranked corner. This might be a surprise to the casual fan, but shouldn't be to the hardcore one. His pure coverage skills are outstanding, and it's not like he rarely gets challenged. He plays opposite Aqib Talib. It's pick your poison in Denver. He's also equally adept at playing inside, so he can play the slot as well. Harris is an outstanding athlete, very fluid in his hips, fast enough to run with any receiver in the game. He just doesn't guess wrong. His feet are lightning quick and is able to always stay balanced. He also does a very good job of baiting quarterbacks while in zone coverage. Harris has gotten better against the run, but he turns the play inside more so than actually making tackles because of his size. He can get overwhelmed a little bit at the point of attack. Josh Norman is number 5, and no player broke out more in 2015 at the cornerback slot than he did, and the 28-year-old got paid. 5 years, $75 million, $50 million guaranteed. Now, I compiled these rankings well before I heard of the murmurs of him struggling in Redskins camp, but training camp isn't going to change my list. He was amazing in Carolina's zone defense. His instincts and ball skills while in zone are unbelievable. He's aggressive with his press at the line of scrimmage while playing man as well. He isn't the best tackler, and this is an area in his game where he can definitely work on. I've got Jason Verrett at number 6, another potential shocker for some. I don't know, maybe not. But when you flip on the tape, he catches your attention. Just watch the feet. Watch the quickness he has. It's unreal. He always seems to be in position against opposing wideouts. He's just 5'10", 188 pounds, but don't let the size fool you. He is stronger than he appears. In run defense, Verrett doesn't hesitate, can get ball carriers down to the ground despite his smaller stature. Vontae Davis checks in at number 7. He didn't replicate his 2014 season in 2015, but let's take a look at that 2014 campaign for a second. I don't think people realize how good of a season he had that year. He led all cornerbacks in passer rating against, just 38.8. He also allowed the fewest percentage of completions at 43.7%, giving up just 31 catches on 71 targets. He's physical at the line of scrimmage and also has the quickness to shadow receivers out of their breaks. His hips are very fluid. His recovery speed is explosive. He's an excellent tackler after the catch and also as an edge run defender. Joe Haden is number 8, and following a wildly inconsistent 2014, he only played in 5 games in 2015 due to injury. He's been a top 5 guy in many lists prior to this year, and I wouldn't agree with you if you choose not to include him in your top 10. He's coming off an ankle injury, and when he did play last year, he definitely underwhelmed. When he's on his game, Haden always seems to be around the ball, but hasn't been doing that too much the last 2 years. He might be the best tackling cornerback in the league, which is remarkable considering his size, but he's feisty, and he likes to mix it up. Desmond Trufant is number 9 and is one of the shining stars on a not-so-great Atlanta Falcons defense. He might be the only one, actually. And his play really amazed me, considering how non-existent Atlanta's pass rush was. Trufant possesses great range, speed, and instincts in man coverage. He's tough, his hips are fluid, and he's extremely confident out there. He doesn't have the best hands, but he's always in position to make a play on the ball. He's a solid tackler, but isn't very big and struggles to get off blocks in the run game. Darius Slay rounds out my top 10. He's very overlooked in Detroit. He uses his physical skill set and long arms to disrupt a receiver throughout his route and at the catch point. He also possesses some very quick feet and is overall just really, really smooth. Some other guys on my list. There's Marcus Peters at 14, Ronald Darby at 15, Malcolm Butler at 18, David Amerson at 21, Delvin Breaux at 22, Aaron Colvin at 29, and a deep sleeper at E.J. Gaines at number 50. Peters and Darby lit up the league last year as rookies. Peterson won the Defensive Rookie of the Year award, returning 2 of his 8 interceptions for touchdowns, and tied for the league lead in pass breakups with 26. But you can make the argument that Darby is the better pure cover corner of the 2. Butler made his name with his goal line interception in Super Bowl 49, but has proved that he can be more than a capable cornerback. He's been solid since then, and he comes off a really, really good season. Amerson tied Peters for the league lead in pass breakups, and I bet Washington wishes it didn't give up on him. Breaux might have the best story of any player in the NFL and was one of the few bright spots in New Orleans' defense. Colvin is a sleeper in Jacksonville who is very athletic, can match up against a bunch of different types of receivers, also good ball awareness. Gaines had a promising rookie season in 2014 but missed all of last season with a foot injury. I really liked him his rookie year. I want to see him bounce back. As for the Eagles, I have Eric Rowe at 39, and like I explained with Norman, I did these rankings before training camp and realized he's fallen down on the depth chart a little bit, but I still think he's a promising and physical press corner. We'll see if he can turn the corner. All right, that's it for my cornerbacks list. Let me know in the comments section below, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, who's in your top 5, who's in your top 10, who's underrated, who's overrated. Did you disagree with my list? Let me know. I'm Adrian Fedke. I am out. Later.